let's take time now to settle the body as the first stage of the class. Sit in a comfortable position with the legs crossed if you can. If not, just sit in a way that's comfortable for you. And ensure the spine is straight and the head and neck are in line with the spine. The eyes and the mouth are lightly closed and the shoulders are back and down but relaxed to open up the chest. And take a long deep inhalation right into the abdomen and the chest. And on the exhalation, release all the events of the day. And take another long deep inhalation. And this time when you exhale, release all the conversations you've had today, in whatever form they may have taken, in person, on the phone, in a digital space. Just let them all go. And take another long deep inhalation. But this time when you exhale, release any thoughts of anything you need to do after this class, any feelings of obligation, and just allow yourself to be right here, right now. There's nothing else you need to do at this moment, but just to be present. And in a moment, we'll move the awareness through the body. And as we do, please pay careful attention to any aches or pains or irritation or soreness in the body, so that when we complete the class, if there's anything that's not right for you, listen to your body and either do something else, or you can even visualize the practice. It can be just as effective. So we'll begin first by moving the awareness to the soles of the feet and feeling how your feet are at this moment. And then moving the awareness into the ankle joints and into the calves and the shins. And placing the awareness now into the knees, observing how the knees are feeling. And then into the thighs and the buttocks. And now moving the awareness into the hands as you feel the hands resting on the thighs or the knees. And feel that contact between the hands and the legs. And moving the awareness into the wrists, up through the forearms. Checking in with the elbows. And then the upper arms. Moving the awareness now into the torso and into the back, up the spine as you move the awareness up through the trunk of the body into the neck. Bringing the awareness to the neck, back of the head, and the crown of the head. And now around to the face, and release any expression on the face. Before resting the awareness of the eyebrow center. And at the eyebrow center now visualize a steady candle flame, symbol of luminosity. And together now, we'll chant Om 3 times, and Om Shanti, the peace invocation, and then I'll chant the Shanti mantra to pay respect to our practices and to each other so that we can all learn together. Breathing in for Om chanting. Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Sahana Bhavatu. Sahano Bhavatu. Sahaviryam Karavavahe. Tejasvinadvadhitamastu. Mamed Vishabhahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. And we'll begin the class in the base position, Parambic sitting, with the legs out in front of the body and the hands behind the back on the floor with the fingers pointing away. We'll begin first with ankle bending. So sitting up straight with the hands behind the buttocks, fingers pointing away. We'll just move the feet from the ankles. So inhale, and as you exhale, bring the feet towards the floor. Inhale, bring the feet back towards the body. Complete 7 rounds. Placing the awareness in the ankle joints and observing just the effects what seems like such a small movement can have on all the muscles and the tendons around the ankles and then the feet. And when you've completed the practice, just observe the effects. For our next practice, bring the right foot in front of the buttock. Place the hands underneath the arch of the foot, making sure you're sitting up straight. Inhale, bring the foot up to where it's comfortable for you without pushing down on the knee. Exhale, bring the foot back to the floor. Complete 7 rounds. Inhaling as you bring the foot up. Exhaling as you bring it down. Really slowing down the movement. Bringing the awareness to the knee joint. And when you have completed your 7 rounds on the right leg in your own time, make sure you bring the foot back to the floor first and then slide it along the leg along the floor just to protect the knee. And then take a few moments just to observe the difference between right and left, and then complete the practice on the left leg. So bringing the left foot in front of the buttocks, placing the hands underneath the arch of the left foot. Inhale, bring the left leg up. Exhale, bringing it back to the floor. 7 rounds, And when you've completed, come back to the base position. We'll move now up to the hips. So bringing both feet in front of the buttocks and then bringing the knees towards the floor and the feet, soles of the feet together, Tatali Asana, the butterfly posture. So for this one, inhale, bring the knees up towards the arms. Exhale, bring the knees towards the floor. Complete 10 rounds. Really trying to synchronize the breath with the movement. Placing the awareness in the hip joint. And really observing how the hip naturally opens a little bit more with each round of the practice. 7 rounds. Oh no, sorry, 10 rounds. 10 rounds in this way. And again, in your own time, when you've reached your 10th round, remember to bring the knees together, slide the legs along the floor, and come back to the base position. And again, observing what is going on in the bottom half of the body from all of these practices. We'll move now to the upper body. So ensure you're sitting up straight. Apologies if I rush through that a little bit. So sitting up straight, because we did some bending with the bottom half of the body, let's do it with the top half as well. So bringing the arms out in front of the body at shoulder height. We'll first begin with wrist bending. So bringing the fingers up towards the ceiling on the inhale. On the exhale, point the fingers down towards the floor. And really feel that stretch at the forearms when you do that. Complete 7 rounds. Again, coordinating the breath with the movement to achieve that body, breath, mind connection. Placing the awareness in the wrist joint. And closing the eyes if it works for you to really internalize as you're doing the practice. After your 10th round, press the arms. We'll now do elbow bending. So we'll do it from the side. So make sure you've got enough room to outstretch your arms to the side. So for this one, bring the palms out at shoulder height. Stretching out through the chest and through the fingers. Inhale, bring the palms to the shoulders, keeping the arms up at shoulder height. Exhale, stretching out through the arms and the fingers. Complete 7 rounds. This way, again, synchronizing the breath with the movement. and observing what's happening for you in the shoulder joints and also in the elbows for this practice. And after your 7th round, press the arms down on the thighs. And again, observe the movement of energy that occurs from that practice. And now we'll do a shoulder rotation, which is always a great practice to include in every class. So bringing first the right hand to the right shoulder, and then the left hand to the left shoulder, and bringing the elbows together in front of the body. Inhale, bringing the elbows up, back, and down. Exhaling on the downward movement to bring the elbows in front of the body again. This is 1 round. Complete up to 7 rounds in each direction. And observing the release of tension in the tops of the shoulders from this practice. And after your 7th round, let's rest the arms. And we'll move now to the neck. So we'll do a couple of practices on the neck. Before we go into that, just check in with your posture. Make sure you're sitting up straight and head and neck are aligned. And ease into these practices very carefully and just work within your range of movement. They shouldn't feel any strain, and don't push anything that may be a bit irritated or painful. So we'll begin first with ear to shoulder. So inhale, and as you exhale, bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. Don't move the shoulders up in any way to try and meet the ear. Just bring the ear towards the shoulder and feel that stretch up the left side of the neck. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. And then back to center again on the inhalation. And this is 1 round. Complete up to 7 rounds. And you'll notice that your head will move a little bit further with each practice, as the muscles in the neck are released slightly with each round. Really slowing it down. And after your 7th round, just bring the head back to center and keeping the eyes closed. Just observe the effects of the practice. And next, as a counter posture to the previous one, we'll do chin to chest. So again, checking in with your posture and your head and neck are aligned. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring the chin towards the chest, feeling that stretch at the back of the neck. Inhale to center. Exhale, bringing the head back to where is comfortable for you and feeling that stretch in the throat, the Shuddhi chakra. Complete up to 7 rounds of the practice. Complete the same number of rounds that you did with the previous practice. It's to keep it even. And making sure the movements are really smooth and flowing. And when you've completed the practice, just take a couple of long, deep inhalations. Very deep breaths, just to reset. We'll now do a more dynamic practice. We'll do churning the mill. So making sure that you've got room, open the legs so it where it's comfortable for you, and also where you've got room. And so making sure the spine is straight. Clasp the hands together at shoulder height. Inhale and then exhale, moving forward. And then swinging the arms over to the right foot, like you're stirring a big pot. Then come back, leaning back, taking up the abdomen, swinging the arms around to the left, inhaling and exhaling as you bring it over the left to the center again. You're doing big circles, so complete up to 7 rounds, going as quickly or as slowly as what is right for you. When you've completed your practice up to 7 rounds in one direction, do the same number in the opposite direction. And that when you come to the end of your practice, so in your own time, of course, just come back to base position and take a few moments to rest, closing the eyes. We'll now do a spinal twist. So in the same position, bring the right foot to the outside of the left knee. Again, checking in with your posture. So for this one, you can either keep the left foot outstretched in front, or you can wrap it around to the right buttock. It's up to you, whatever's right for you. So again, checking in, spine straight, and then push the left elbow, the inside of the left elbow, around the right knee. I'll just move forward just a little. And then with the right arm, bring it back around behind the body and put it behind the buttocks again with the fingers pointing away, like some leverage, and gaze over the right shoulder. And ease into this position. So hold it, make sure you're breathing, of course, and hold it, and you'll be able to move just a little bit more as you ease into it. But don't push or strain in any way. It should not hurt. There shouldn't be any pain when you do this. When it's right for you, come back to center. Bringing the legs out in front of the body again. We'll do it now on the left side. So bringing the left foot to the outside of the right knee. So keeping the right leg straight or wrapping it around to the left buttock. Sitting up straight, putting the inside of the right elbow around the left knee. And then bringing the arm behind the body. So placing the hand behind the buttock with the fingers pointing away. And then looking over the left shoulder, just easing in and holding for your own duration. And then come back to center and complete the practice once more on each side. And move to the right again. And then when you've completed it, come back to the face position with legs out in front of the body, but just taking your own time. Closing the eyes. And just observing the effects of all of the practices so far, from the ankles to the knees, to the hips, to the elbows and the wrists and the shoulders, and the neck, and now the spine. We'll now do a forward bend. So for this practice, we'll do it with the legs out in front of the body. Again, checking in with the posture. And now this will be very different for everyone. So it will just really determine even not only your yogic journey of where you can move to, but also how you're feeling on the day. It can change from day to day. So what we'll do is you inhale and then exhale, and then just run your hands along your shins. If you can grab your toes, that's great. If you can grab your ankles, that's fine too. Even if it's just on your thigh, your shins, that's perfectly fine. But just go to where is right for you, but try and keep the back straight. So keeping the back straight and the head up. And you can breathe in the position, of course, and just hold until it shouldn't be painful. And then when it's right for you, slide your hands along the legs again to come up to upright. So we'll complete this 2 more times. So inhale. Before you start, exhale. Running the hands along the legs, keeping the spine straight and the head up, almost leading with the chest. And see if you can hold just a little bit longer than the time before. And go forward a little bit more, just very gradually. And when you've completed your practice, come to a comfortable sitting position. We'll move into pranayama, breathing practices and breath work. So with the eyes closed again, checking in with the posture, ensuring that particularly the shoulders are back and down but relaxed. Lightly close the eyes and the mouth and breathing through the nose. And just observing the natural breath at the nostrils and observing how the natural breath fills the abdomen with air and then the chest with air. And on the exhalation, the chest subsides and the abdomen subsides. And in the class today, I think we'll do some Brahmari, the hummingbird pranayama, because it's a great way to really clear the mind and bring stillness to the thoughts. And it seems strange because it makes so much noise, but it can actually bring you back to stillness. So for this one, I'll demonstrate first. With this one, you need to, you put your fingers with the flaps of your ears, you sort of hold them in. So, but don't do that until I demonstrate, because otherwise you won't be able to hear what I'm saying. You put the cover the flaps of the ears, close the eyes, and you can put the tongue just behind the teeth really lightly at the palate, at the roof of the mouth. Inhale, and then it's a sound like this, and apparently it actually vibrates around the head. So inhale, and then it's like this as follows. And so you get the picture. So for this, what you need to do is we'll do 5 rounds. It's a full yogic breath in when you do it. And a good thing to do is actually place the awareness at the crown of the head as you do it. And then when you've finished your 5th round, rather than just coming out really quickly, go back to the natural breath, but keep your ears closed just for a few moments, and then gently release the hands, and then your attention will go back all around. So complete 5 rounds of Brahmari. And when you've completed Brahmari, coming back to the natural breath, lie down in Shavasana. We'll move into Yoga Nidra. So make sure that you have everything that you need for the practice and that you're comfortable and warm so that you don't need to move. Of course, if you need to move, of course you can move, but be very mindful about your movement and conscious and slow, just so that you maintain the peaceful state you've created so far in the class. So lying down on the back with the legs at hip width apart and the feet flopping to the sides and the arms a little bit away from the body with the palms facing up. And there's balance between the left side of the body and the right side of the body. And you may like to tuck your chin in just a little, just to check that the head and neck are aligned with the spine. And take a long, deep inhalation now. And as you exhale, release the body into the floor. And take another long, deep inhalation now. And this time, when you exhale, release any remaining tension in the body, particularly in the face. So ensure that you're not clenching your jaw. That all expression is released from the face. You're not clenching the muscles behind the eyes. Just let it all go. And returning to the natural breath. Feel the body's contact with the floor. Feel how the heels are pressing against the floor. Feel the back of the legs against the floor. Feel the buttocks against the floor. Feel the backs of the hands and the arms against the floor. Feel the back and the spine against the floor. Feel the back of the neck and the head against the floor. And observe how all of these different points of contact make one singular point of contact between the body and the floor. And become aware now of sound. Listen for sounds way off in the distance, but don't try and identify the sound. Just move the awareness from sound to sound. And now move the awareness to sounds just outside the room that you're in. Taking the same approach of just moving the sound awareness from one sound to the next. And move the awareness now to sounds just inside the room that you're in. And now move the awareness to the sound and sensation of the heartbeat. Now moving the awareness to the sound of the natural breath. And release the sound awareness now and call to mind your Sankalpa or positive intention if you have one. Mentally repeat it 3 times now. And if you don't have one, leave some space because it can emerge on its own. We'll now rotate the awareness around the body to listen to my instructions, and when I repeat the name of a body part, place your awareness there, visualize that body part, and mentally repeat the name of that part. We'll begin with the right side of the body and the right hand thumb. First finger, second, third, and little finger. Palm of the right hand, back the right hand, the wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, right side of the chest, right waist, hip, thigh, knee, shin, calf, heel, ankle, sole of the right foot, top of the right foot, right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and little toe. And moving now over to the left side of the body, beginning with the left hand thumb. First finger, second, third, and little finger. Palm of the left hand, back of the left hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left side of the chest, left waist, hip, thigh, knee, shin, calf, heel, ankle, sole of the left foot, top of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and little toe. Moving now to the back of the body, beginning with the heels, the back of the legs, the buttocks, the small of the back, the middle of the back, the shoulder blades, the space between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck, the entire spinal column, the back of the head, and the crown of the head. Moving now around to the face, beginning with the forehead, the temples, the eyebrows, and the eyebrow center, the eyes, the ears, the cheeks, the nose, the lips, the chin, the throat, the collarbones, and the pit of the throat. The right side of the chest, the left side of the chest, and the center of the chest. The right side of the abdomen, the left side of the abdomen, and the navel. The right side of the pelvis, the left side of the pelvis, and the groin. The whole right leg, the whole left leg, both legs together, the whole right arm, the whole left arm, and both arms together, the whole torso, the whole neck, the whole head, the whole front of the body, the whole back of the body, the whole body. Have a sense now, all at once, the whole body. Release the body rotation now and bring the awareness back to the natural breath. And just observe how subtle the natural breath has now become. And also observe the rise and fall of the navel in response to the natural breath. And we'll now add a visualization to the natural breath. On the inhalation, visualize that you are inhaling peaceful golden light. And on the exhalation, you are releasing any stress, any anxiety, any fear, anything that does not serve you, whatever is personal to you, release it on the exhalation. So inhaling peace, and on the exhalation, releasing anything that does not serve you. And if the mind wanders, use the breath just like an anchor and bring it back to the practice. Release the breath visualization now, and instead feel the following opposite sensations in the body. The body's feeling hotter and hotter. The body feels like it's inside a sauna and the heat has just been turned up. The hands and the feet are clammy and sweaty. It radiates from the abdomen throughout the body, and the head feels like it's on fire. It feels so hot. The body's feeling hotter and hotter, like it's inside a sauna and the heat has been turned up. Release this feeling of heat now and exchange it instead with a feeling of coldness. The body's feeling colder and colder. The body feels like it's outside in the snow on a freezing winter's day. The hands and the feet feel numb from the cold. The face and the nose are burning from the cold, and the eyes water from the icy wind. The body's feeling colder and colder, like it's outside in the snow on a freezing winter's day. Release this feeling of coldness now and exchange it instead with a feeling of heaviness. The body's feeling heavier and heavier. The body feels so heavy, it feels like it's pressing against the floor. It feels like it's made out of lead or concrete, and it's so heavy it feels like it may even fall through the floor. The body's feeling heavier and heavier, and it's pressing against the floor. And release this feeling of heaviness now, and replace it instead with a feeling of lightness. The body's feeling lighter and lighter. The body feels so light, it feels like it's barely touching the floor. The body feels so light, it feels like it's as light as a cloud or a feather, and it may drift away at any moment. The body's feeling lighter and lighter. It's so light that it feels like it's barely touching the floor. Release this feeling of lightness now. Release all of these sensations completely. Allow the body to come back to a state of equilibrium. And instead now come to the space of the mind, the space behind the closed eyes. And in this space, see, imagine, visualize and create the following objects and images. You are standing on the beach and the dawn is upon you. It's very empty on the beach, but you feel very safe. You can see just a crack of light on the horizon over the water. You can smell the sweet scent of frangipanis in the air, and the only noise you can hear is the roaring waves of the ocean. And as you walk onto the sand, it's still warm from the day before. And there's no one around, but you feel compelled to walk over to the water's edge. As you walk to the edge and you feel the warm water lapping against your ankles, there's a stick on the ground. You pick up the stick, and on the water's edge, you write down any worries or concerns that you have right now. Write it and draw it into the sand, and just as you write it, a wave comes up and washes it away. And in that moment, you almost feel like the whole thing is gone. And you feel lighter. So you go further into the water. And while there are waves coming in, it's not enough for you to feel unsafe. In fact, you lie down on your back in the water. It's quite shallow, but you can still float very easily. And you gaze up into the sky as the dawn is growing above you. And in in the sky it's turning a golden light, and golden raindrops start to fall around you. And in this moment, you feel as though abundance is raining on you. You feel joy in your heart and peace. And any fear or worries that you had has been washed away from the ocean. And inside you feel stillness. And as the rain stops, it's a very light shower, you come back and sit up and come to the water's edge again as you watch the sun emerging over the horizon. And a sunbeam stretches out from the edge of the ocean and touches you on your eyebrow center. And at this point you feel energized and connected to everything around you. In this moment you feel blessed. And the sun slowly edges up into the sky. The sunbeam goes back into a different position, and you know it's time now to come back into the room that you are in. But all of the feelings that you felt in this moment will stay within you. The sense of joy and peace and the blessings that you feel that you've been given will come back with you as you come back now into the room and lie down on your mat and call to mind your Sankalpa, or positive intention if you have one. Mentally repeat it 3 times now. If you don't have one, leave some space and it can emerge on its own. And begin now to allow the breath to deepen just a little. And as you do, observe just the movement it creates in the body. Check in with your body and see how it's feeling at this moment. The practice of Yoga Nidra is coming to an end. Begin to remember the details of the room that you are in. Remember the color of your mat and coverings. Remember the time of day. And begin to make small movements with the fingers and the toes. Begin to hear the sounds around you. And remember the world attached to those sounds. Move and stretch in a way that's right for you. You may like to gently move your head from side to side. And when it's right for you, all in your own time, there's no rush. You can roll onto your right side for a few moments. Just allowing the body to gently externalize. Being very gentle with your body. And then when it's right for you, mindfully and consciously come up into a comfortable sitting position, keeping the eyes closed or downcast, aiming to maintain this peaceful state that you've created. And we'll check in now with the body, like we did at the beginning, but this time just compare how you feel now to when we began. Bringing the awareness into the feet, soles of the feet, and moving it up through the legs, the shins and the calves, and the knees, into the thighs and the buttocks, and up through the hands, the forearms and the elbows, and the upper arms, up through the torso and the back, and the spine until you reach the neck. And moving the awareness to the back of the neck, into the back of the head and the crown of the head, around to the face, and resting the awareness of the eyebrow center. And at this point, visualize a golden light, almost like a sunbeam, at the eyebrow center. And together we'll chant Om 3 times and Om Shanti to conclude our practice. Breathing in. Om. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Hari Om Tat Sat.